Good noon, all of you. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to everyone. Right. So, I welcome you to this session, how to prepare for your VARC section in the remaining, although to be very precise, there are 87 days, but roundabout in the remaining 90 days. Yes. So, we will talk about a master plan of sorts that will help you to navigate through VARC, particularly because it can be difficult for some students. When it comes to RC passages, students sometimes tell me that they are unable to comprehend at times, they are unable to retain at times, sometimes they are not able to attempt all the RC passages in the exam. Okay, so given these challenges, how do we prepare and how do we overcome these challenges in the remaining 90 days? Okay, that's what we will talk about today. Okay, so let's begin with our session. And before I begin, I want to answer a very common question that I get these days. Right, so students ask me, is it is it possible that now that there are just 87 days, there are just 90 days, or when there were more days also, I used to get this query, is it possible to ace the VARC section in these limited number of days? So what do you say? What do you think? Is it possible? I want an answer from you. Yes. Is it possible to prepare, or in fact not just prepare, to ace the VARC section in these remaining 87 days? Hi Gaurav, welcome to the session. Good noon, Quants and VRC. Hi. Okay, yes. I've asked a question in case you've just joined. I was asking this question, that is it possible to prepare for VRC and ace it also in the remaining 90 days? So Rajan says yes. Okay. All right. Others, what do you say? Maybe. Okay, so that's a middle ground, maybe. So Uh, let me tell you, the answer is a resounding yes. I am not just saying a yes, I am saying a resounding yes. It is very much possible to ace the VRC section with these remaining 90 days, with these remaining 87 days, whatever you call them. Okay, you just need to follow some things consistently for this. Okay, if you do that, trust me, you yourself will feel that there is a significant difference in where you stand 3 months later, right? So in fact, in case you've attended some of our other strategy sessions, we give you a mock strategy also as to how you can aim at increasing your VRC mock score, and thereby of course your ultimate percentile. So all of that, as I watched those sessions, okay, as I was preparing this session, I realized all of that is possible in the remaining 3 months. Let me show you how. Right, stuck between two close options. That's a very common, again, concern, others. So, stuck between two close options. I will address this. Right, I've noted this down. So, when we come to the RC part, right, when we come to the RC part, when I give you a plan for that, then we'll address this. What should you do when you're stuck between two close options? Right? Okay. So basically, yes, it is possible. We know that. Then what should we do for it? That's the bigger question. You should know. See, I remember that back in school, when we were asked to write a report on an event, a report on something that had happened, our teacher used to tell us that focus on the W's. So what, when, where, why. So in addition to these W's, I would also give you a how. Focus on these 5 questions of your VRC preparation and then implement them consistently. Right. So it might appear to be a little vague. So let's just make it more concrete for ourselves. What I'm trying to say, you should know the what of your preparation. I think that's the very first step. You should know what is it that you have to prepare for. Yes, and a lot of students are pretty overconfident. Oh, we know what we have to prepare for. But uh, you should know this inside out. So you know that you have to prepare for RC passages, but what kind of RC passages? Right? What kind of? How many? Of course. Okay. What kind of passages? as in what genres, what kind of questions come, right? What kind of questions are going to come from those RC passages? What is the time in which you will be required to attempt each such RC passage, right? So, you have to know the answers for these inside out. What is the, time per question that you're roughly going to get? So, know this what very well. And how many questions, let's say, you can afford to leave if at all you do not know the answers to them? Can you leave an RC passage completely? Can you not? You need to know the answers for these questions, and trust me, I have answered these questions in a number of previous sessions that I've taken, okay, where we've discussed RC, ace your RC preparation. I took this session, ace your VA preparation. So whenever I take these topical sessions, I address all these concerns there, right? So I think by now many of you are in the relatively mid stage of your preparation, right? And you know the answers to these questions. In case you don't, you can ask me. All right. So what to prepare for? For CAT, of course, RC passages, para summary, that's there, right? Then, if I talk about para jumbles, two type of para jumbles you have to prepare for: odd one out and sequence para jumble without any options. So type in the answer sequence. You have to make the entire sequence there. So this is what you have to broadly prepare for if I just talk about CAT. Yes. And therefore, of course, your preparation should be therefore focused on these areas. Treat them as areas. Prepare for each area. That's what you have to do in the what of your preparation. Now, coming to the when of your preparation. See, so 90 days are left if I look at it in an overall sense. So, of course, the when has to be every day for these 90 days, isn't it? You can't just decide that, okay, I'll prepare for VRC in the last month, let me prepare for quant and DILR first. That's the biggest mistake that you can make in your preparation. Don't do this, okay? Don't think of it syllabus wise. Don't think, let me finish my quant syllabus first and then I'll come to DILR and VRC. That's what a lot of students do. Trust me, when it comes to entrance exams, there is no syllabus, so to say. The syllabus is never complete. And you have to simultaneously practice and take tests, practice and take tests. You have to do this consistently. You have to do this every day. You can't leave it just for 1 month, just for 1 week. That does not work. Right? Okay, so September, because today is the last day of August, so I've taken the calendar from September to November. This is when our CAT exam is, 27th of November. So now let's see what can we do. Okay, sorry. You should always populate your calendar when it comes to preparation. This has always helped me. Not just creating, let's say, a weekly timetable, but yes, populating my calendar. Okay, this is the date on which I'm going to take a mock. Right. So, for instance, if Sundays are free for you, then you can very well decide. Okay, so because Sunday is free for me, let me just change the pen color. Right. So every Sunday in September, I am going to take a mock, or it could be every Saturday, whichever day is free for you. So let's say you took it every Saturday and you analyzed it on Sunday, right? So you took it on Saturday, then you took a break, you just distanced yourself from it for a day, and on Sunday you analyzed it. So populate your calendar like this. My recommendation to you would be one mock per week in September. Okay. And see, at least one mock has to be taken per week at this stage, right? And one mock per week in September will do. And if you want to, if let's say you haven't been taking mocks till now, then I would say two mocks per week in October and November. Okay. So one each in September, two in October and November, but I never recommend more than two in a week. Okay, more than two in a week is a bit too many. You have to analyze them also. You have to learn from them. You have to incorporate those learnings in the next mock. That needs time, right? Okay. So for working professionals, Saturdays work for them. Usually Saturdays are off or Sundays are off. So weekends is when you can take and analyze your mocks, right? But just taking mocks is also not enough. See, while mock taking is the most important part of your preparation, definitely by all means, by all standards, mock taking and analyzing is the most important part of your preparation. But that does not mean that for the rest of the 5 days you will not do anything, right? Uh, that so this alone will not help. What do I need to do beyond this? Let's see. So if I have to give you a 90-day plan, so to say, see, RC passages. So in the exam, you will get 4 RC passages. If let's say things go as expected, if things follow the previous year's trend, then 4 RC passages with 4 questions each. So now you know that this is what you're going to get. Imagine if you practiced 400 RC passages, then that means that the ultimate thing that will be asked from you in the exam will be just 1% of what you've practiced. So why not aim at this? Let's be ambitious. If you solve, and if this of course also depends on your let's say current level. So for instance, somebody who's already good at RC passages need not practice 400 RC passages, but someone who's particularly weak in RC passages, this is the area that you need to work on, then yes, by all means go for this. See how you can do this. If I look at your plan, 90 days, if you practice 2 to 3 RCs, let's say every day. 2 because some of you might not have so much time. Okay, some of you might be working professionals. 3, I think if you practice 3, then you will reach this golden figure 380, as in 400 passages approx, right? 400 passages approx, you will reach there if you practice 3 RC passages every day. So practice these RCs, and apart from just solving them, okay, again, students just solve them and then just find out, okay, this is correct, this is incorrect. They never delve into the why of it. Why did I get this incorrect? What is the kind of mistake that I made? Was it a silly mistake, as in the kind of mistake that I could have avoided? Or was it a genuine comprehension error? You need to ask yourself these questions. See, for each of you, your CAT preparation is going to be very personalized. Okay. Uh, and why do I say that? That it's going to be very personalized because for each of you, your current level is different. Yes. So where you stand in RC passages, that is different. The Therefore the amount of practice that you need to go from where you stand to where you want to be, that is different. In fact, where you want to be can also be different for a lot of students. So some of you might want, because RCs are your strength, because VARC is your strength, you might want a 99 plus percentile, not even a 99 from VARC, right? Some of you might have other sections as your strength, so you might feel, okay, even a 95 percentile here will do, I'll make up for it in the other sections. So your preparation will be personalized. What I'm giving you is a general template that this is what you can follow. So 2 RCs to 3 RCs every day, right? That will take you to 180 to 270 RCs just from practicing these every single day. Then if I talk about your mocks and sectionals, assuming that this is a minimum that you're going to take, 15 mocks and 5 sectional tests. So if I multiply that by 4 RCs every mock or sectional, that will again take you to 80 RCs there. And of course, if you're attending some classes, if you're attending my free YouTube sessions also, then also I think you will end up practicing some 30 odd RCs from here itself. So this combined will take you to 300 to 400 RC passages approx. And I think that's a very good number for any student. Even for the weakest of the student, 400 RC passages is a very good number. So this is how your preparation has to happen, and you will have to work. Some of you might be thinking, oh, I thought I'll just have to practice 1 RC every day. If your RC if you are weak in this area, then no, that won't work. Okay, you have to put in more. Right now is the time. See, I'm just asking for 3 months of your life. Right now is the time when you put in more. Right? Okay. So this is about RC passages. Now we had a concern that the student said that he or she stuck between 2 close options, and it's a very common phenomenon, getting stuck between 2 close options, right? So you have to, now this is governed again by a number of factors. So why is it, if you again go into the why of it, okay, let me write here, I think there it will not be visible to you. Is it because of the kind of question that you're attempting? So a lot of students come to me and say that my main idea questions pose a challenge. There we are stuck between 2 close options. So if it is governed by the kind of question that you're attempting, then you've identified your problem. You need to practice more and more main idea questions. Basically, you need to figure out how to identify the main idea. Right. For that also I've suggested you some exercises, right? So for instance, noting down the key idea of every paragraph initially when you start reading RC passages, then weaving those key ideas together at the end. So this is something that you do for 20, 21 days, then it becomes a mental habit. So If it is governed by the kind of question, this is the solution. If let's say it's not governed by the kind of question, but in case the passage is easy, then I am able to attempt even the difficult questions. But in case I find the passage to be difficult, then I am always stuck between two options. If that is the problem, that means it is being governed by the level of difficulty of the RC, and sometimes also by the genre of the RC, where, I mean, from which field has the RC been asked. Again, you identified your problem. So if let's say in philosophy passages, this happens with students, particularly in XAT. They tell me that, okay, my God, these options are so close. That's because they're not very comfortable with philosophy. So you've identified your problem. Read more and more such articles, read more and more text on such topic, right? If let's say it's very random, it's not governed by these concerns. It could be in any question, it could be in any genre, it's very random. This indicates that you need to practice more with the right technique. Probably you are not eliminating the options correctly. When you're stuck between two close options, you are not, let's say, reading each and every word carefully, or you're not gauging which is closer to the overall theme and tone of the passage. So if it is random at this stage, that indicates a lack of practice and technique. So you need to work on your elimination technique, how to eliminate. The formula is very simple. If I have to give you a formula, your answer choice is of course that one that is more related to the question, right? How do you figure out what is related to the question? Read the question stem very, very carefully. Go to the area where the answer for that question lies, in case it's an area based question, and read not just that sentence but the context very carefully. Assimilate what you've read. Initially focus on accuracy and let speed be secondary. For the first 20-21 days, focus more on accuracy. Then come back and see what is closer to what you've just read. Focus on each and every word, right? And don't expect that the examiner will directly quote things for you. That does not happen in CAT. So if it's a random problem, then these are the areas, basically elimination, reading the question stem carefully, reading the sections of the passage carefully, practicing more such passages. That's what you need to work on. It's a skill and you build it over time. It won't happen in a day, right? Yes, Apurva, I have a slide for that, so you need not worry about it. How much time to give to a particular RC? That's the query. So, see, again, if I go by your exams pattern, then you have to attempt roughly, I mean, not roughly, you have to attempt 4 RCs, considering that this was the pattern last year, 4 RCs to be attempted in 30 minutes. Why am I saying 30 minutes? Because you require 10 minutes for your para summaries and para jumbles. So if you have to attempt this in 30 minutes, 4 RCs, then you can divide 30 by 4, it will come to 7.5 minutes per RC. This is roughly what you have for one RC passage of 4 questions, right? Not for every RC out there. Okay, now I'm currently solving the last 5 years CAT RCs, 75-80% accuracy in 7 to 8 minutes. So your time is perfectly fine, Mohit, 7 to 8 minutes. 75 to 80. In fact, if you go for the last 5-year RCs, if you look at CAT 2018, 2019, that allowed you relatively more time per RC. Okay, not a little more than 7 to 8 minutes. I think 9 to 10 minutes is what you got back then. So you're doing good that way. You need to focus on what you are getting wrong. Again, so when you're getting the 75-80% accuracy, the ones that you're getting wrong, what kind of questions are they? Are they again silly errors that you overlooked something? So those mistakes can be fixed very easily. Or are they again those very difficult questions, let's say, that you wasted time on and then got them incorrect? Then you need to reduce wasting that time on those difficult questions. You need to probably leave them. Or are there those moderate questions that you can actually work on and improve your accuracy there, get those also correct? So ask yourself that. You can actually note this down for every mock. This is something that works for a lot of students, making an Excel sheet, noting down for each question what kind of error it was, how can it be fixed, right? So Mohit, it's not just I am Bangalore that does it. If you in fact open your previous year RC, you've been practicing previous year RCs. So did you feel that they were confined to just one single genre? All of them are interdisciplinary, particularly the last years and last to last years, right? So for instance, there was this passage about topophilia. I often give its examples. Somehow it was very new for me also. So it talks about something called behavioral geography, combining psychology and geography. So your passages tend to be interdisciplinary. In fact, most of the articles that you read from the sources that I'm going to suggest, they are all interdisciplinary in nature now, because that's how subjects have become. That's how fields have become today, right? Just one discipline does not help you to solve a problem. Okay. How to analyze mocks, Abhishek? I have a slide for that. When we come to it, we'll discuss it. Right. So odd para jumbles and para summary, again going by what I just told you, that let's say now for this you need not sit every day. For RCs, yes, because that's a major chunk. That's 2/3 of your VARC section. For this you need not. If you have 12 weeks, right, then even if you sit twice per week, that's fine. Attempt 5 questions. 3 for para summary, 2 from odd sentence, because that's going to be the pattern in the exam also most likely. So 3 para summary, 2 odd sentence out, attempt 5 questions per sitting. Do these two together and you would have done 120 questions just from your sittings, right? 20, that 15 marks plus 5 sectionals, that's what BYJU'S offers. So I took this as a standard, right? So again, 5 questions you're going to get in each mock or sectional, 100 there. If you're attending any of my sessions, if you're attending any of, you've enrolled anywhere and you're attending sessions, let's say 20 questions, that's the bare minimum, right? That's 240, approximately 250 questions. Again, that's a very good number of questions that you're going to practice. So actually, small efforts add up to big results. You need to put in small efforts every single day and they'll add up to big results. Okay? All right. Okay, Deep, I'll just address it. Let me just finish the bit about type in the answer para jumbles, and that will actually complete your schedule, so to say. Again, sit for it twice a week. Okay, you need not sit for it, let's say, every single day, right? So let's say Monday, Tuesday, you devoted to your para summary and odd sentence out. Wednesday, Thursday, you devoted to your type in the answer para jumbles, or whichever combination works for you, right? It's up to you. So attempt 4 of these. Why am I asking you 4? I know that 3 are asked in the exam, but I'm asking you to put in a little more effort here, because there are no options in the exam and sometimes that makes them challenging. So 4 PJs per sitting, and that will make it 96. From here 80. From classwork, I think minimum 20. So again, approximately 200 questions is what you'll be practicing on this, which is a very good number considering that in the exam you'll have to attempt just 3. So for these three, you're practicing 200. That's a very good number. Okay. So I hope this makes sense to you. Abhishek, I told you I have a slide for this, right? So please hold your horses. Yes, Deep is saying that he's getting 60 to 70% accuracy, but you're taking more time. See, when you solve your previous year papers, I would suggest you, because they are a very precious resource. When we exhaust them, we have to exhaust them in the best possible manner. So please stick to the time that you will get in the exam. Okay, the time that you got in those exams, stick to that time. One thing. Secondly, that means yes, so this happens because our current preparation level, we are actually at the initial stage of preparation. That's when this happens with students. They come to me and say, 3 RCs we are able to solve comfortably, but 1 RC is always left. Or we are unable to look at the VA section if we focus on RC passages. Or let's say our inaccuracy is high because we are already always running from one passage to another. So these are beginners' problems. As you solve more and more, so my suggestion would be take more and more topic tests, timed tests, take more and more sectional tests. Again, they are timed tests, and they'll help you in coming to this, in catching up to that speed that is required of you, right? Also, this is about solving within exam. So topic test, sectional test, you are solving something within an exam setup, in a test setup. Outside the exam is where you work on your accuracy. So the RC passages that you're practicing here, these 2 to 3 every day, let's say one of them you can decide that I'm not going to put a lot of time constraint on it right now. For one of them, my focus will be to be ambitious, to get 100% accuracy. Let that be your focus, right? So focus more and more on accuracy for this 1 RC passage every single day, and that way your accuracy will improve from here, your speed will improve from tests. Okay, we have to push both. Okay. Yes, Sukhansh, I believe in this. However, my belief is realistic also. So this is, remember that these entrance exams are stage 1 of your preparation. You'll have to put in a lot of effort for stage 2 as well, for your WATs, for your PIs also, right? So it's conditional on that. So, or PJs, para summary, type in the answer para jumbles. I think this covers the syllabus, so to say, of VARC for CAT. Okay, so I've given you a concrete schedule for the coming days. Now, let's address your queries. So, I have a number of queries here. Just a second. Right. Mock, yes. So, some things that you have to remember in your preparation, right? What percentile do you need? This is again something that you should know. A lot of students don't have a clear idea about this. So, as I said, that some of you for whom VRC is a strength, go all out, aim for a 99 plus, right? For some of you for whom, let's say, DILR or QA is your strength and VA is not, if that is the scenario, then yes, you can initially, at least, you can be a little realistic about it. So if you're at an 80 now, work on going to 90. If you're at a 90 now, work on going to, so make it incremental. Don't think that right from an 80, you know, one day you come to me disappointed and say, I want a 99, I am getting an 80. So the path to 99 has to come in incremental stages. So what is the score that you need and what is the percentile that you need? You have to be very clear about this, right? So I think a lot of you know this by now that you don't need 100% for 100 percentile. At a score of 45 out of 72 in CAT 2021, a student scored a 99 percentile, right? So 45 out of 72, that's not 100% definitely. And see, for a 95, it comes down by 10 whole marks. At a 34 to 35, you got a 95 percentile. So if you are here right now, if you are at an 80, don't get disheartened. Okay. Uh, Work on getting to 90. Even this, getting to 90 can be divided into two stages. So let's say in the next mock that you take, try to get one more question correct. Right? Something that Gautam sir must have also told you in case you attended his session. Try to get one question correct. So if every 15 days also, no, every 14 days also, you try to get one more VRC question correct, trust me, you can go from an 80 to a 95 very, very easy. Right? So that should be the effort to go incrementally from where we are to where we want to be, right? And this is just to give you an idea of the kind of scores that you need in case, of course, the trend continues, the difficulty level is similar as last year's, right? Okay, let's come to the next query, mocks. Okay, Sukhansh, what did you ask? I replied to this. Do you guys go somewhere in between while attending the sessions? Are you doing this? Are you opening other tabs? I hope I'm audible to everybody. Uh, right. So, what is another thing that is very, very important? I think I've already established this, that taking mocks is a must. So populate your calendar, right? I showed you your calendar there, populate it, how you are going to take mocks, and then stick to those schedules. Think of them as appointments made to yourself. A lot of students have this problem that they decide that they will take a mock on a particular day, but then they don't do this. So think of it as an appointment that you've made with someone. You can't actually cancel this appointment, right? And based on that, you'll stick to your schedule. Now, how do I take mocks? This appointment thing will work for you, right? Plus, of course, think of it as if you are in an exam situation. So don't be casual about it. Don't take it in parts, right? Think of it as an actual exam, as an actual test, right? So you can populate your calendar accordingly, according to your schedule, your work schedule, etc. Then mocks help you in incremental improvement, as I told you. So see, if I have to reach from 21 to a 35, right? And if I have to do this in, let's say, increments of 3, yes, come on, solve this math problem for me. 21 to 35, how many extra questions do I need to get correct? Okay, let's say I'm getting a plus 3, not even a plus 4, a plus 3. I'm not getting them incorrect right now. I'm not attempting them at all. Yes. So, 5 questions, I think. If I get 5 questions correct, that will land me at a 36. Yes. So, 5 questions, that means I can think of it as 5 mocks, or in case I want to be really slow about it, I can even think of it as, let's say, 2 months. So in 2 months, you can come from 80 to 95 with very minimal effort. If you are targeting it, not even per mock, but every 2 mocks, then with very minimal effort, you can come from 80 to 95. Right. And then in the remaining 1 month, I can work from 95 to 99. Yes, 35 to 45, another 3 questions, let's say. Okay. So this is how you should look at your preparation in fragments, step by step, right? Incremental improvement is what mocks help you. Okay, now how to analyze mocks? That's also a question that has been asked. So I'll give you a very simple way to do it. First of all, so this is how I look at them. Easy questions and difficult questions. I'll talk about the medium ones also with you, but let's talk about the easy and difficult ones first. Easy questions that I got correct. Okay, so I pat my back for that. So easy question tha, mera correct bhi ho gaya. That's the aim, to maximize my score through easy questions. Easy questions that I got wrong. I got a negative there. I got it wrong. So this is something that I need to improve the most on. For me, this is a sin right now. Okay, I need to now atone for these sins. I need to ensure that in my coming mocks at least I don't get the easy questions incorrect. So I'll look into its why. Did I overlook something? Why did I not read a not, let's say, in the question stem? So I'll look into the why of it. Right. For difficult questions, I go a bit further. Difficult questions that I got correct, but I don't straight away pat my back for this. I see how much time have I spent. How much time have I spent here? If it's, let's say, if it's an optimal amount of time, it's within 1.5 minutes, I have been able to figure out the answer, then I pat my back. Right. However, if I've spent a lot of time on it, time equal to 2 to 3 questions, then I would have been better off not attempting it and focusing on my medium and easy questions. So time becomes very crucial when it comes to this difficult part of the exam. Okay, so if time, then I should have left it perhaps, or again I'll reflect on why I couldn't attempt it within time. Difficult questions that I got wrong, this again is my sin because I shouldn't have attempted this question, right? And if I spent a lot of time on it, then it's a double sin, right? So my analysis is very focused towards my easy and my difficult questions because it helps me to devise a strategy that I need to be heavily focused towards this particular area, easy and medium questions, rather than being heavily focused here, right? For your moderate questions, see, moderate questions is such an area. It's like people who are swing voters, they can go either way, right? So if you practice, they can actually become easy for you with time, right? And if you do not practice, if you're careless about them, then over time they can become difficult for you. So that's why for moderate questions, I suggest that you do attempt moderate questions because in CAT you will not find that majority of your questions are easy questions. That does not happen for an exam like CAT. So you will have a healthy mix of easy to moderate, and you will have to attempt moderate to secure the percentiles that you want. Right? So do give them a shot. However, again, don't be stubborn. Learn when to let go in the exam. And in case you didn't let go, then again, while analyzing star mark, see why you were not able to let go of this question. See what you got wrong here. So you have to basically keep asking why for a particular question, for a particular area, until you get an answer. Why did I get this wrong? Okay. So why do I not understand this question type? If it's because of a question type, what can I do to now understand it better? So it has to be a very drilled down analysis. right? This is just for RC passages, but it works the same way for para summary, para jumbles also. Easy, medium, difficult, that's a category that you can make for any question type. Okay? Ideal time to solve a para summary question, see a para jumble or a para summary question. See, you've 8 questions, right? And you have to, again, going by the last year's pattern, 8 questions, you have to solve in maximum 10 minutes. So approximately 1 minute is what you have per question. But honestly, it doesn't work this way because some of your questions, they are relatively easier. Excuse me. So I have seen some type in the answer para jumbles to be very easy, which I have been able to attempt in under 1 minute. So I have been able to devote that time that I saved in a difficult para jumble and in a difficult para summary question. So approximately 1 minute, that should be your benchmark, but sometimes it can be a little more and sometimes you will save time in easy questions, right? Definitely not more than 1.5 for any question. I don't think you have that bandwidth, right? Unless you are super awesome at RC passages. Okay. All right. Okay. Just a second. So, before I come to another thing to remember, I'm reading your messages. I'm currently following one RC passage, then parajumble the question. Then in the remaining time, okay, I do RCs. Some students follow this strategy because they feel that solving RCs at length becomes monotonous for them. So, Mohit, if it is working for you, if you are getting a good accuracy this way, then yes, this is the correct method. Whatever works for you is the correct method. Okay. So, I'll tell you, when I secured 99.9 percentile in VRC in CAT 2016. In that year, I followed a hopping strategy only. That means one RC and then some parajumble parasummary. One RC, then some parajumble parasummary, and it worked for me, right? So, whatever works for you is the correct strategy. I did this because that year the paper was jumbled. So I didn't want to waste a lot of time in, first analyzing which all questions comprised RC. So that's why I hopped. And I had practiced enough mocks with the hopping strategy and that worked for me. So see what your accuracy is like. And if you haven't tried other strategies, then I suggest that you try other strategies also in 2 mocks. So let's say in 1 mock, RCs and then PJPS, complete RCs and then complete PJPS. In another mock, you can do this, let's say 2 RCs, then the entire PJPS, then the remaining 2 RCs. So see which one works the best for you and that can be your strategy, right? Okay. Another important thing is, see, laying the groundwork. We've been talking about solving so far, yes? Solving. But groundwork, having the right technique, learning the concepts, reading, okay, apart from the RC passages, that's very, very important. So laying the groundwork is important, right? So what should you do for that? You know the answer. But some of you asked me for specific sources. So what my strategy is, because now the preparation has to be focused, I would not recommend fiction to you at this stage because I feel that uh, I am really hoping that some of you started reading earlier, right? And you have some, let's say, base when it comes to your reading. So, if in case you've read enough fiction, then you can stop with fiction now. Focus more on non-fiction. Okay. So let's say one chapter of a non-fiction book every day, or a certain number of pages of a non-fiction book every day. Right. Why am I suggesting this? It's a very practical suggestion because you have got excerpts from non-fiction books as your RC passages. Right. Some other sources that we have observed over the years have been relatively popular. Eon.co, I think all of you know this, right? The NYT, the Guardian. I haven't seen many Indian newspapers as the sources of your RC passages. That's why I'm not suggesting them. Okay. Then magazines like The Economist, Forbes, Time Magazine. Okay. E-magazine, The Atlantic. There was an RC passage from it last year itself. Okay, The Atlantic. Then another e-magazine, Smithsonian Mag. Right. Very standard sources like BBC, HBR, Harvard Business Review, right? Such standard sources. So I think these are quite a few sources for you to practice from, right? Another e-magazine that comes to my mind that I would like to add, the Scientific American. The Scientific American. So these have been the sources of your RC passages in the past years, and that's why I'm suggesting these sources to you as to where to read from, right? Okay, in the middle of the second RC. Okay, okay, okay. Great, Mohit. Great. So if this is working better for you, I totally get it, and keep up at it. Okay, if it's working for your accuracy. Right. And now sources for, papers, for questions. That's what students ask. Practice kahan se kare? Where is the material? You don't have a dearth of material. You've cat previous year papers, right? So all practice from all the previous year papers available to you. ZAT RC passages are a notch higher than CAT RC passages, so it's good material to practice from. GMAT RC passages again of the same level or a notch higher from CAT RC passages. So in case you can get access to GMAT OG, you could consider borrowing it. Official guide is what I mean. You can consider borrowing it from a friend, or if you're able to access it from somewhere, then GMAT RC passages will form good material for practice. Mock tests and topic tests. Okay, I'm sure you are taking some mock or the other, right? Some mock series or the other. And in case you've enrolled somewhere, then you'll have ample course material. So these all can form your sources for practice of questions of RCs of other topics, right? So these are the sources. What else do you need to remember? We've discussed pretty much everything, right? We've talked about mocks, we've talked about practicing outside the tests, okay? We've talked about analysis, which is very important. And also, of course, the very first thing that we discussed, which was, I have forgotten, what is the score versus percentile combination, right? So we've talked about these things so far. Last is have a strategy in place. So as I just discussed it with Mohit, uh, you also should have a strategy that, okay, should I attempt RCs first? Should I attempt PSPJ first? Should I hop? Okay, how much time do I need to spend on a particular area? So if let's say I am a champion at PSPJs, I can spend just 8 minutes there. Give those extra 2 minutes to your RC passages, right? Then in any case, no matter what your strategy is, you should prioritize your RC passages. By prioritizing, I mean that just read a couple of lines from each RC passage that will give you an idea of the level of language, the topic, the genre. Okay, and accordingly you can decide. I don't ever attempt the very first passage that comes to my screen unless it's of my interest. So I first look at my interest levels, because I can't start with something boring right away, right? So I start with something that interests me, whose language I feel is doable, right? So that way I prioritize my RC passages 1, 2, 3, 4, and I usually keep the ones that I dislike for the latter part of the exam, because I want to maximize my score here, right? I want to maximize. Secondly, do not think if it's a difficult passage you will leave each and every question. No. Okay, you can go for a question selection, meaning focus more on the easy questions of all the passages, focus more on the easy to medium questions and less on the difficult questions. So do not leave any RC passage. That would be my recommendation, because seeing the scores that you need for a 99 percentile, you will have to attempt as much as you can, right? Another thing that I would suggest to every student, that once you've basically have a healthy and broad sense of time. So I see there's one type of students who are just always looking at the timer. Okay, they are always panicking and looking at the timer. This is counterproductive. Then there's another type, they look at the timer 15-20 minutes later after the exam. Again, counterproductive. So have a broad sense of time, right? Every 7 to 8 minutes, look at the timer. Okay, are you sticking to the limits? Where are you in your RC passage? If you've not wrapped it up, then you need to buck up. Although our effort should be that we are able to maintain a consistent pace right from the beginning. So have a healthy, broad sense of time. Do not ignore the timer, but don't be obsessed with it. Okay, so that would be about having a sectional strategy in place. What I will attempt first, how will I prioritize my RCs? Okay, right, I do it right in the beginning of the paper, right? I will choose my questions wisely, but I'll not leave any RC passage. I'll have a broad sense of time, a healthy sense of time, right? So this would be the last tip. This was the last thing to remember. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi, Vicky. Good noon, good noon. Right. Inference type questions. Okay. So Mohit, inference type questions can be actually of two types. One is where you have to infer from a particular area of the passage, and one is inference based on the entire passage. Okay, this is actually a relatively easier type in my experience. This is what I found. Why? Because after reading the question stem, you can go back to that specific area. You have that luxury. You go back, you reread the bits. Okay, so you reread that sentence, you read a couple of sentences above and below, you assimilate information, and then you come back and eliminate. Right? So in inference questions based on specific areas, always go back. Do not think of it as wasted time. It is accuracy ensured. That's what I always tell students. So go back to those areas. Okay, and elimination. So one major reason why I've seen we get inference questions wrong, because our mind is trained in such a way that as we read RC passages, we are also processing information. We are forming our own opinions on the basis of it. But the examiner is not interested in our opinions. The examiner wants us to stick to the RC passage. So when you read a question stem, what can be inferred from so and so sentence? अपने आप मत सोचने लग जाओ. Okay, don't think from your end. What can be inferred from this sentence or that sentence? You immediately you go to the area. You go to that area. Do not think about this from your end. Go to that area so that you think about it in the context of the passage from the viewpoint of the author. And then again, once you've read it, eliminate from the options. Again, don't form an answer. Don't pre-form an answer without reading the options. That apply this, and I think it will help. Okay. When it comes to inferring from the entire passage, you need to have understood the passage well. You need to have comprehended the passage well. That's when you get these questions correct, right? So see that if you get these questions wrong, is it because you didn't understand some major parts of the passage, some important aspect of the passage, right? And again, once you form the gist correctly, okay, you're saying that you do that, but it doesn't work for you. So see, are you forming the correct gist? That's one thing. Secondly, are you focusing on what that question is asking you? Because sometimes students tend to mark broad answers based on the entire gist. But wo aapse, the examiner is asking you what can be inferred from the passage regarding so and so thing. It is still a relatively specific question. You have to always address the question through elimination. So, understand the passage well, comprehend it well. Please understand that you have to address the question. An option may be correct but may not be addressing the question, then it cannot be the answer. And again, with practice, once you've practiced, let's say 6 to 7 tests, you yourself will see a point of inflection in your capabilities of attempting inference questions. It's a skill, as I said, it takes time, it has to be honed. Okay. And the last tip for you, and this is something that you should always keep in mind, there might be junctures in your preparation when you might feel demoralized, demotivated, okay, looking at your mock scores or for some reason or the other. But trust me, those students who leave it make it easy for students who don't, right? So, you are a serious candidate, you are a serious aspirant only when you keep up at it, and when you keep up at it. This is a quote from The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. When you aspire for something, the universe, the heavens conspire for you to get it. Right? Right. पूरी कायनात उसे पाने में मदद करेगी. Alright. So always be optimistic when it comes to your preparation. Realistically analyze your mocks and then hope for the best for the coming mock. Keep hoping. Okay. Don't lose hope. And these are some of my tips for you. I hope they help you in your preparation. I hope the 90-day master plan that I've given you, you will implement it, right? So hoping that you enjoyed the session. Yes, we will have a lot more sessions about RC passages. They're coming your way. We'll have sessions not just for CAT but also for NMAT. So stay tuned. I see you at 12 p.m. every Tuesday to Saturday. Okay, 12 p.m. is devoted to VARC every Tuesday to Saturday, right? So I hope you like the session. If yes, please go and press the like button. And this is our CAT program. It is not just for CAT. Keep that in mind. We prepare you for all the management entrance exams out there, right? And a lot of material. Sometimes students complain they don't have enough material when they're not enrolled anywhere. So I can assure you, if you enroll with us, you'll never face this problem, right? And this is how we can stay connected. You can follow us on social media and you can join this Telegram channel, right? Welcome, welcome. No, bache. Tuesday to Saturday, 12 p.m. for me. Okay, this is when I see you. So I'm talking about my sessions, right? Okay, welcome, welcome, Mohit. I hope these things help you. All the very best for your preparation. I'll see you tomorrow at 12 again. Okay, bye bye.